This video is part of a series teaching you how to play with modes. And to go with this series, I prepared for you a free downloadable pack with 35 backing tracks, full charts, videos, tabs. It's completely free. Check the link below, grab your pack, and let's get into this lesson. And so forth and so forth. Welcome. We are continuing our series on playing with modes. Each video covers a specific mode of the church mode family. And today we're going to look at the Ionian mode. If you haven't seen the other videos, you can watch them after this. These videos are kind of standalone, even though they're part of the same series, and we're exploring one new mode. Before we get started, this backing track and all the backing tracks that you're hearing in this series are available for free. I'm giving away a full course, a full pack on guitarplayback.com, which is the Modal Explorer pack. You can get all these backing tracks, many more, some tabbed videos and all that. So the link is below, completely free. That's my gift to you. And let's get started with the Ionian mode. Hi, my name is David Wallerman. Welcome to this channel, which is all about helping guitar players like all of us find our voice on the instrument, develop that voice to perfect our musicality and learn how to speak on the instrument. We're going to look at the Ionian mode, which is also known as the major scale. It's a flavor, and I like to see modes as countries that we're visiting. Each mode is basically a ticket to visit a new musical country and speak with other musicians in that same continent, the Ionian continent. We're in the key of G Ionian. Before anything, let's get comfortable with the sound of that scale. Now, on the guitar, there are multiple ways of playing the same exact pitch, same note. We're going to use this way, which has a name. It's the E shape of the caged system. It doesn't matter if you don't know that. Honestly, it doesn't really matter which position, which shape you're using, because shape shouldn't influence your music or your choice of notes. Your mind is in control of what comes out of your fingers. These shapes are just tools to get started. But whether you're using this system, this position that I'm about to show you, or the 3-note per string, or a hybrid type of position, the notes, the pitches are the same. The listener doesn't care. But let's take a look at this position. We are in the E position of the cage system. We're in G major. If that didn't make sense, don't worry about it. Here it is. 7 notes for you. We're in the key of G, which means the first note is G, low E string, 3rd fret. That is an important note, the root that attracts all the other notes. So the backing track that I'm playing over, the bass kind of gravitates around that G. It's kind of riffing around. Bop, 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 bop. That's a G. Okay, so all the notes you play are going to be attracted to that. And then the chords are built around that position. But here we go. Low E string, frets 3, 5. The first 2 notes of the G major scale. On the next string, we have frets 2, 3, 5. In the next string, we have 2, 4. Those are the 7 notes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, that make the major scale. Now we can play these notes on a higher pitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, and that's the cage system. Outside of that, we would use a different position. That's completely okay. Same notes, just played differently. Altogether, low E string, frets 3, 5. Next one, 2, 3, 5. Next one, 2, 4, 5. Next one is 2, 4, 5. Next one is 3, 5. First string, 2, 3, 5. Okay, if I play that scale, these notes, over the backing track, they're all going to work because the backing track is built using that scale. All the notes you hear, whether it's bass, guitar, whatever, all use that scale. Right, it works. That's our alphabet. Just like in real language, you use an alphabet to create words. In music, that's our alphabet, 7 notes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, same notes played higher. I can build words. Words are made of several notes. So this is a word, right? It's a 1, 2, 3. It's a 3-letter word. That word, lick, would work over this. Right? I could say it fast. I could say it slow. I could say it with a stutter. A lot of different ways to sing the same word, just like in real language. I love the analogy, language, phrasing, solos. It's all the same. Music is the language. Okay, so if you understand that, you now are free to improvise, speaking over within the Ionian country, G Ionian, G major in this case, over this backing track. It's pretty much all you need, but I'll give you a few tips, a few things I like to do with that G major scale, and I want you to explore. The concept today is looking at pieces of that alphabet that is strategically organized to create chords, arpeggios. We're going to use these arpeggios to kind of build on knowledge of the fretboard. In a nutshell, if I take my G major scale, I have 7 notes. I can build a 4-note arpeggio with the first note, the third, the fifth, and the 7th. These 4 notes create an arpeggio. If I were to play all these together, which would be a little bit hard on the guitar for fingering purposes, but on piano, you'd hear a chord, something similar to this. Same kind of sound. We're going to use that 1, 3, 5, 7 across the fretboard in strategic positions that are going to help you memorize that. There are 5 of them. Yes, the caged system, again, it's not about the caged system, but that's the positions that we're going to use. And I'm going to play those for you. Now, here's the thing. I don't want you to memorize them as you're watching the video. I want you to watch what I'm doing, but I want you to do the work. Spend time figuring out those positions with your ear. Very important. And, of course, the charts that are in the full course below, completely free. But in a nutshell, we would have the following 5 positions. The first one uses this zone of the fretboard, which is the zone that we use for our arpeggio, or for our full scale. So we have 1, 3, 5, 7. 1, 3, 5, 7, 1. Okay? So you just go up their scale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Like that. That's your first position. If I play that, it matches perfectly because, again, the backing track is built using the same exact notes that I just played. It's the first position. The next one is going to be in this zone of the fretboard. And here's where it's really important that you do this work. I want you to mentally visualize the 1 within these shapes. So in that first shape, we had a 1 right here. The visual reference point is that 1, the root on the low E string, 3rd fret. That's the position where the note we're going to visualize to build our position. Very important for what's coming next. The next position in that zone of the fretboard, a little bit higher, the note that we're going to focus on is on the 4th string, 5th fret. That's also a G. Same arpeggio, 1, 3, 5, 7. Again, charts are below if you want. Download the full course, you'll get those. And then we have a 3rd position. This time for the 3rd position, the root that you're going to visualize is right here on the 5th string, 10th fret. That's also a G. Okay, that's position 3. In that zone of the fretboard. Position 4 is in that zone of the fretboard. We're going to use the same visual reference point, 5th string, 10th fret. And finally, the 5th position, the low E string, 15th fret. So So we covered the 5 zones of the fretboard with a cage system using that 4-note arpeggio. Now, why is that important? It's important because the 4 notes that we used, 1, 3, 5, 7, are strong notes. I want you to picture a skeleton. The bones of the skeleton are the strong aspects of that skeleton, right? And those bones, those connection points, are not very descriptive. If you find a skeleton in the closet, you don't know if it's Bill or Bob or Jane. It's just a skeleton. Same thing here. If I were to just play these, I don't know if it's Bill or Jane. I don't know if it's Ionian or Lydian. If that completely lost you, pretend that you understood. It doesn't matter. I've got other lessons here, but in essence, these 4 notes are going to give you the nature of the scale that we're using, which is part of a major scale family. It's in the major box of things, musical things. It's got a major third, a major 7. It's going to work over a major 7 chord. But there are missing notes in there that are very descriptive, but a little more dangerous. What I mean by that is that the missing notes, in this case, the 2nd, the 4th, and the 6th, there are 3 missing notes. These, you got to be careful because they might clash with what the backing track is playing. This backing track happens to be an Ionian. So you need to have very specific types of seconds, 4ths, and 6s. A major 2nd, major 6th, and a perfect 4th. Those are very descriptive, and they are a little unstable. They're not as strong as the bone. So if I land on the 4th, it works, but it's not as stable as the 3rd, for example, or the 5th, or even the 7th. Make sense? Those arpeggio notes, 1, 3, 5, 7, are very stable. Typically, you're going to hear that form within the backing track you're playing in. And so that's why it's very safe, maybe not as colorful as others. Make sense? Okay, so the first step over this backing track is to play those shapes. Very, very stable. And that's part of maybe not the musical aspect of this exercise, but just memorizing your fretboard. Get the charts below. Once you did that, you have anchor points, notes that you can safely land on. So now we're going to be a little creative. Now that you know these 4-note arpeggios across the fretboard, we're going to start creating words, making sure that the last letter of this word that we're going to create is one of the 4 notes of the arpeggios, 1, 3, 5, 7. Let's pick the 7th, for example. We're going to pick this area of the fretboard right here. The 7th, we have one right here on the 3rd string, 11th fret. We have another one on the 5th string, 9th fret. Right? And so we're going to play landing on that 7th. We're going to use all the 7 notes of the major scale in that position, but landing on one of these 4-note arpeggios. I'm going to improvise a little bit, targeting that 7th note. Even if you don't really like the sound of that, you're getting used to the color. And then you can try the same thing with a different zone of the fretboard, maybe this one. And so forth. And then you move on to another of the 4 notes of that arpeggio, 1, 3, 5, 7. And try all of them and see how they make you feel. That's really important to make that connection between what you're playing and the instrument. So all this is labor intensive, there it is, French word of the day, or mess up of the day. But it's really important to target these notes and get a feel for them. And then you can explore the unsafe notes, the 2nd, the 4th, and the 6th. And just ask yourself, do I like this sound? Do I like the sound of a 4th? Maybe not. If the answer is no, well, first of all, if the answer is yes, use it. If the answer is no, maybe that note is not really a landing note. Maybe it's a connection note. Maybe it's a note that is important to connect two words together. Maybe you got this word and this word. Well, maybe you connect them with that 4th. Maybe, yeah. That worked, right? That was a connection note. For me, I'm going to put that note to the 4th. I'm going to classify this in the connection, the connection category. So you have all this vocabulary that you're kind of making as you're exploring the fretboard for every note, and that's going to help you build your story. So you've got your safe notes, you've got your open notes maybe the 6th. For me, the 6th is kind of open. Sounds kind of open. Like a movie that doesn't really resolve, but then you think about it and it's like, oh yeah. You have some notes that are very, very, that's it. That one, very resolution driven. That was the 1, the root. Just assign vocabulary. Take the time to assign vocabulary to each of these intervals. That's the best way, I think, to be more in control of what you're playing and not just rely on the scale positions, knowing that it's going to sound okay because those scale positions match the track you're playing over, but not really feeling fulfilled musically because you're not really in control of those things. It's really important, I think, as far as phrasing. Today's lesson was a little more theory-driven, a little more how do you get comfortable with new positions and what do you start with? Targeting those 4 notes and then exploring all the other notes and assigning vocabulary to each of these notes. The 4th, it's a transition type of thing. It's a little unfinished. The 6th, open, whatever you want. It's really important, I think, to do that. It will guarantee that and ensure that when you're playing, you're really in control of what you're playing. That's what I have for you today. Remember, you can download the full Modal Explorer pack completely free. Just visit the link below and grab the course. It's going to be discounted 100%. It's a course that I usually sell on my website for $47, free for you. And if you have not checked out this channel yet, thank you for watching this video. You should subscribe. I got some new videos coming for this series. The next one is going to be about the Aeolian mode. We're going to explore a different concept and learn how to phrase using that mode. Check out the other videos in the series. Thanks so much for watching. Subscribe if you haven't already. 3 videos every week, Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, helping guitar players like all of us, finding our voice on the instrument, developing that voice to tell our own personal musical story. Thanks for watching this. I'll see you next time. Practice well.